So good morning everyone. Today I am going to discuss chemical bond. Okay. So we know why two atoms combine with each other. What is the reason behind the formation of bond? Maybe ionic, maybe covalent, maybe coordinate bond. So what is the reason? So I am going to discuss chemical bond. So chemical bond is defined as the attractive force that holds various constituent particles. Constituent particle means atoms, ions or molecules in different chemical species. So chemical bond is defined as the attractive force that holds various constituent particles, atoms, ions, molecules in different chemical species. Cause of chemical bond. What is the cause? The concept of lowering energy of combining atoms. So concept of lowering energy of combining atoms. When two atoms combine together to form a bond, there is an overall decrease in potential energy of the combining atoms. When two atoms combine together to form bond, there is an overall decrease in potential energy of the combining atoms. That is, a system having bonded atoms has lower energy than that having unbonded atoms. This implies that system of bonded atoms having lower energy is more stable than that of unbonded atoms having higher energy. So system bonded A and B, unbonded conditions. Now A used to form a bond with B. After formation of bond between A and B, they are stable by lowering their energy. So causing of chemical bond, first is concept of lower energy and combining atom. Stable means lower energy, less reactive, more selective. Unstable means more reactive, less selective. So this is the cause 1. Cause 2, octet rule. Kosel and Lewis in 1916 developed an important theory of chemical combination between atoms known as electronic theory of chemical bonding. According to this, atom can combine either by transfer of valence electron. Atoms can combine either by transfer of valence electron from one atom to another, gaining or losing, or by sharing of valence electron in order to have an octet in their valence shell. This is known as octet rule. The outermost shell configuration of noble gas is stable configurations of 8 electrons in case of 2 for helium. 2 electrons for helium is also stable. Okay, so Kosel and Lewis in 1916 developed an important theory of chemical combinations between atoms known as electronic theory of chemical bonding. According to this, atom can combine either by transfer of valence electron from one atom to another, gaining or losing, or by sharing of valence electron in order to have an octet in their valence shell. This is known as octet rule. The outermost shell configuration of noble gas is stable configurations of 8 electrons. The 2 electrons for helium is also stable. So main points of octet rule: atom with 8 electrons in the outermost shell are chemically stable. So atoms with 8 electrons in the outermost shell are chemically stable and hence incapable of combinations. Number 2, an atom less than 8 electrons in its outer shell is chemically active and hence has a tendency to combine with other atoms. Okay, so atoms with 8 electrons in outermost shell are chemically stable and hence incapable of combination. That is, they are less reactive, more selective. But atom less than 8 electrons in its outer shell, chlorine, chemically active and hence has a tendency to combine with other atoms. In case of sodium, 3S1. Okay. Now ionic and electrovalent bond. As you know, chemical bond is kind of mainly 3 types. What? First one is ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Number 2 is covalent bond. Number 3 is coordinate bond or dative bond or coordinate covalent bond. So there are many three types. Apart from there are hydrogen bond, force of interactions. Okay. So first main thing, ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Number 2 covalent bond. Number 3 coordinate bond. Okay. Now come to ionic bond are the electrostatic force that bind together oppositely charged ion exist in gaseous state, formed by the transfer of electron completely from an electropositive metal to electronegative non-metal. So ionic bond are electrostatic force that binds together oppositely charged ions, Na plus Cl minus opposite charged ions, must be exist in gaseous state. Formed, how will they form? Formed by transfer of electron completely, not partially, completely, from an electropositive metal like sodium to electronegative non-metal chlorine. So atom that loses electron becomes positively charged cation, while the atom that accept the electrons become negatively charged anion. So cations and anions are then attracted towards each other by electrostatic force of attractions and are linked together by ionic bond. So ionic bond, that is nothing but electrostatic force that bind to opposite charge ions in a gaseous state exists, formed by complete transfer of electron from a electropositive metal to electronegative non-metal. So atom that loses electrons called cations, that accept electron called anions. So cation and anions are attracted by the electrostatic force of attractions and they are linked by ionic bond. Next move on. So comes here. Okay, you see before discussing here is formation of CF2. Electronic configuration of calcium 20, atomic number 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2. Losing one electron, hotil 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1, calcium plus. Okay, again losing another electrons from this 4s1, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, calcium 2 plus, which is resembles with argon 18 electron system level gas. So electronic configuration fluorine with atomic number 9, 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. So after gaining electron, accepting electron, one electron receiving, it becomes 2p6 a minus gas, which is equivalent to neon inert gas configurations. Now calcium 2 electrons gives. So here hydrogen by mistake it has been written hydrogens, so it should not be there hydrogens. So like this. Again the same. Okay, so come to here. So again, sorry for interruptions. So here calcium gives 1 electrons, fluorine another fluorines. So F minus F, here F minus, calcium 2 plus. Add it loses 2 electrons, so calcium become 2 plus and fluorine becomes negative charge species. So calcium 2 plus gas F2 F minus. So what will happen at the expense of lattice energy? We get CF2. Okay, so similarly formation of NaCl, electron configuration sodium 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s1. So Na plus gas, neon inert gas configuration, chlorine 17 accepting electrons, it becomes argon. So Na plus Cl minus at the lattice expense of lattice energy minus U, NaCl solid. G gaseous state, E lattice energy, is solid. Okay. Now sodium, what will happen? Sodium ions, metallic element, chlorine atom, non-metallic. What will happen? Is sodium atom loses one electron, chlorine atom gaining electrons. Sodium ions in gaseous state, chlorine ions in gaseous state, they are attracted by each other. Okay. Now condition for the formation of ionic compound. Metal and non-metal must be present in gaseous state. Metal and non-metal must be present in gaseous state. If the metal is solid, then sublimation energy is required to change solid into gaseous state. Sodium solid, if you apply sublimation energy, you get Na gas. So if the molecule is present like Cl2, then dissociation energy is required to dissociate molecule into atom. So if sodium is solid, then you should apply sublimation energy, then you get sodium gas. If the molecule is present Cl2, then dissociation energy is required to dissociate into molecule into atom, like this. Half Cl2 gas, dissociation energy, Cl gas. Complete transfer electron take place. A metal atom must have lower ionization energy. Lower ionization energy means this is the amount of energy required to pull out the outermost electron from a gaseous atom. That is usually bounded. Distance between the nucleus and valence electron is large. Formation of ionic compound is favored by the large size of the metal atom. So large size of the metal atom is the formation of ionic compound is favored. Okay. So metal atom, non-metal must be present in gaseous state. If metal is solid, then you should convert it solid to gas by applying sublimation energy. As mentioned, gaseous state, mentioned gaseous state, or gaseous state. Okay. Complete transfer electron takes place. Metal atom must have lower ionization energy. Ionization energy, how much energy required to pull out the outermost electron of a gaseous atom? That is usually bounded. If usually bounded, so distance between the nucleus and outer electron large, so lesser amount of energy required to pull out these electrons, and formation of ionic compound is favored by the large size of the metal atom. Clear? So this is the condition for the formation of ionic compound. Another condition, non-metal must have high electron affinity. Non-metal must have high electron affinity, that is small size and high electronegativity, will favor the formation of ionic compound because these factors are associated with increasing electron affinity. Now question will come, why I am not discussing ionization energy, electron affinity? It is not included in your syllabus. So I have to finish the stipulated class. So that's why I am discussing during the discussion what is electron affinity. This is the amount of energy released during the acceptance of the electron by the gaseous atom in its valence shell. So when a gaseous atom captures one electron in its valence shell, how much energy is released or liberated, that is called electron affinity. Okay. So electronegativity difference between metal and non-metal should be very high. Electronegativity difference between metal and non-metal should be very high, so that complete transfer of electron from metal to non-metal takes place. The electronegativity difference between metal and non-metal should be very high, so that complete transfer of electron from metal to non-metal takes place. Number 8. High value of lattice energy. Getter is the force of attraction between constituent ions. In an ionic compound, higher will be the stability of ionic compound. Getter is the magnitude of lattice energy, lattice enthalpy of an ionic solid, higher will be electrostatic force. Okay, so getter is the magnitude of lattice energy of an ionic solid, a crystal, higher will be its electrostatic force. So these are the conditions for the formation of ionic compound. What is ionic compound? I have discussed the examples. Okay, and what is the conditions for the formation of ionic compound? I have also discussed. Now come to the characteristics or properties of ionic compound. So what are the properties, the characteristics of ionic compound? Number 1. All ionic compounds are usually crystalline solids. All ionic compounds are usually crystalline solids. 2. Ionic solids have high melting and boiling point. Ionic solids have high melting and boiling point due to the presence of strong attractive force between the opposite charge ions like Na plus Cl minus or calcium 2 plus 2Cl minus, etc. Okay, so all ionic compounds are usually crystalline solids. Ionic solids have high melting and boiling point due to the presence of strong attractive force between the opposite charge ions. Ionic solids have low volatility, high density and high stability. Ionic solids have low volatility and high density and high stability. The ionic compounds are highly soluble in polar solvent such as water whose dielectric constant is high, having high dielectric constant, but insoluble in inorganic solvent. So inorganic solvent is water here. So highly soluble in polar solvent like water, which have high dielectric constant, but insoluble in organic solvent like benzene, alcohol, ether, N-hexane, THA, CCl4, DMF, so many organic solvent, benzene. However, some compounds like barium sulfate, lead sulfate, AgCl, AgBr are insoluble in water. Number 5. In molten state, the ionic compounds are good conductor. So in molten state, the ionic compounds are good conductor. 6. In solution, ionic compound undergo ionic reactions which are very fast. NaCl, Na plus Cl minus. Okay, very fast. Ionic compounds are non-directional and hence do not show isomerism. So ionic compound doesn't have any particular shape like planar, linear, tetrahedral, etc. like that. So ionic compounds are non-directional and hence do not show isomerism. So that is the characteristics or properties of the ionic compound. Okay. Now come to electrovalence. What is electrovalence? Why it is called electrovalent bond? Electrovalency of an element is equal to the number of positive or negative charge. Electrovalency of an element is equal to the number of positive or negative charges acquired by atom of that element in the forming of cation or anion respectively by losing or gaining electrons. Again I tell you, electrovalency of an element is equal to the number of positive or negative charges acquired by the atom of that element in forming cation or anion respectively by losing or gaining electrons. Variable electrovalency, that is oxidation state, shown by p block and d block element. There are many p block like gallium, indium, thallium and d block, iron, copper, which form cation with variable positive valency. This phenomenon in which the element shows more than one electrovalency is called electrovalency. Okay. So that is the electrovalency. It is the number of equal to positive charge, negative charge acquired by the atom that element formed during the formation of cation or anion. How? By losing or gaining electrons. Okay. Next, move on. For p block element, gallium equals to plus 3 plus 1, indium plus 3 plus 1, thallium plus 3 plus 1, germanium plus 4 plus 2. These are the different oxidation state. Stannous 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2, lead plus 4 plus 2. For d block element, iron plus 2 plus 3. So higher oxidation state means group oxidation state, which is denoted by G. They are equal to the group number of element or number of electrons present in the valence shell. So these are equal to the group number of element or number of electrons present in the valence shell. These oxidation state are called group oxidation state, represented by G. Number 2, lower oxidation state, higher oxidation state and lower oxidation state. These are equal to group oxidation state minus 2, G minus 2. So these are group oxidation state minus 2. These result when only the electrons in the NP orbitals are involved in bond formations and NS electron pair shows reluctance to participate in the bond formations. NS, okay, very close to nucleus due to, okay, reluctance. This reluctance of NS electron pair take part in the bond formation is called inert pair effect. That is, an electron present in the NS orbital are very much reluctant to take part in the chemical bond formations. So they remain intact. Now, what is the explanations behind the inert pair effect? Inert pair is absent in the element situated in the beginning of the group, P block, beginning. If you talk about boron, aluminium. We talk about the gallium, indium, thallium, germanium, okay, tannus, lead, etc. So inert pair is absent in the element situated in the beginning of group and becomes prominent in the heavier elements of the group. NH2 electron pair present in the cation having lower oxidation state becomes more and more inert, tends to remain pair. As for example, valence electronic configuration of group 14, that is carbon, silicon, germanium, tannus, lead, NH2 Np2, so 2 plus 2, 4 valence electrons. Since these 2 Np electrons are further away from the nucleus than the 2 Ns electrons, these are the very close to the nucleus. So the former, that is NH2, can easily be removed. Former means here Np, because since 2 Np, so former can easily be removed, that is 2 electron residing on Np orbital or excited to the higher orbital than the latter. Latter means Ns. Hence 2 Ns electrons are thought to be inactive. 2 Ns electrons are thought to be inert. As you know, lead forms lead 2 plus, then lead 4 plus. So lead 2 plus, lead can form a lead 2 plus easily, but lead 4 plus not easily. So lead 2 plus form easily than lead 4 plus. Okay, so that is the explanation behind the inert pair effect. Okay, now come to the another important of lattice energy, which is denoted in amount of energy liberated, released during the formation of 1 gram of formula weight of an ionic compound from constituent ion in their gaseous state. Okay, so amount of energy released during the formation of 1 gram of formula weight of ionic compound from constituent ion in their gaseous state. Okay, so lattice energy can be expressed. Okay, you know, this is the Na plus gas, HCl minus gas, they are attracted by the electrostatic force of attraction to opposite charge in gaseous state. At the expense of lattice energy, you get two gaseous combines to get NaCl table salt, which is a solid. So now lattice energy is expressed by U minus N A Z plus Z minus E square by 4 pi epsilon 0 4 pi epsilon 0 R0 within first bracket 1 minus 1 by N. U equals to minus Na Z plus Z minus E square by 4 pi epsilon 0 R0. Now N is Avogadro number, A Madelung constant, Z plus valency of cation, Z minus valency of anion, R0 sum of the cation and anion radius, N is bond exponent, BOR and bond exponent, E electronic charge, everybody knows 1.602 10 to the minus 19 coulomb, and epsilon 0, that is the permittivity, 8.854 10 to the minus 12 coulomb square Joule inverse meter inverse. So that is the expression of lattice energy. Okay, now come to the second bond, that is covalent bond. So covalent bond is formed between two combining atoms by mutual sharing of 1 or 2 or 3 electron pair between them to attain nearest noble gas configuration. By mutual sharing of electron pair, each of the two combining atoms attain stability and both combining atoms have equal claim on the share pair electron. Suppose you have a 90 rupees, you need to start a business, you require 100 rupees. So you told your friend to invest 10 rupees. That means mutual sharing, 90%, 10%. So as you invest 90%, so what will happen? Your share value will be more. So that's why. So in between two atoms, dissimilar atoms or same atoms, what will happen? In the dissimilar atoms, there will be electronegative difference. So which is more electronegative? Electron share will be towards the more electronegative atoms. So every atom has a demand, claim on the share pair electron because these are mutual sharing. So mutual sharing of one lone pair electron, we get a single bond. Two lone pair electron, we get a double bond like oxygen. Mutual sharing of three lone pair of electrons, triple bond like N2, N triple bond N. So why? Same purpose, to attain the nearest noble gas configuration. So purpose is same. Bond is formed to get a stability to attain the nearest noble gas configurations. So covalent bond is formed between the combining atoms of mutual sharing of 1, 2, 3 electron pair between them to attain the nearest noble gas configuration. Now condition for the formation of covalent bond. Number 1, A and B should have higher initial energy. A and B should have higher initial energy so that none of them should be able to lose electron and form cation. So none of them should be able to lose electron and form cation. Number 2, electronegativity of A and B should be equal or slightly different each other. Equal means in case of homodiatomic molecule H2, B2C2, HCl, hetero diatomic molecules where the electron is difference. So electronegativity between A and B should be equal or slightly different. In terms of atomic orbital, a covalent bond is obtained by the overlap only those atomic orbital of valence shell which contain unpaired electron, and these unpaired electron must have opposite spin. Okay. So these are the conditions. Should have higher initial energy. That means higher initial energy means electron are not loosely bounded. Energy require more to pull out that electrons. Okay. So it will demand more energy means initial energy is high. If it is half pill or full pill, it will demand more energy. Now properties or characteristics of covalent bond. First one is physical state. The covalent bonds are made of discrete molecules which are held together by van der Waals force. Okay, van der Waals force that are weak in nature. Hence these exist in all three states like solids I2, liquids Br2, gases Cl2. Melting and boiling point. So these are the physical state. So due to the presence of van der Waals force of attractions, so what will happen? They exist in three states: solid, gas, liquid. Melting by boiling point. Due to existence of very weak van der Waals force of energy or interactions, energy required to break this force is low, hence melting point boiling point is low comparatively. Electrical conductivity. When an electrical current is passed through a covalent compound in its liquid or fused state, due to absence of free electrons, conduction of electric current does not take place, and hence these compounds acts as a bad conductor. Graphite acts as a good conductor due to the presence of free electrons. 4. Solubility. Most of the covalent compounds are insoluble in water, polar solvent like water, as it does contain any ions, hence so do not interact with the dipolar solvent. It is soluble in non-polar solvent like CCl4, NXN, KHA, benzene, ether. Okay. So next, isomerism. Covalent compound is rigid and directional, so it shows isomerism. It has definite shape, linear, planar, tetrahedral, TVP, etc. Okay. So now come to examples. Lewis dot structures. Here 8 electrons, oxygen. Okay. So 2, 4, 6. Okay. Here carbon. You see. Another oxygen atom 2, 4, 6, 8. Another oxygen lone pair. So this is the shared pair electron. So double bond. Sorry, here oxygen. By mistake I tell you wrongly. Actually oxygen here using double bond. It is using 2 lone pair of electrons. Oxygen 2 lone pair of electrons. Okay. 1 and so O double bond O. So how we will calculate the octet? 2 electron, 2, 4. Each bond means 2 electrons. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. In each bond, one bond means 2 electrons. Okay. So this is the double bond. Okay. Similarly in here, single bond, you see hydrogen gives you 1 electron, carbon gives 1 electron. This is called shared pair electrons. Okay. In between C, there is a triple bond. So each carbon share here 3 electrons, here 1 electron. So each carbon atom share adjacent carbon atom 3 lone pair electrons. 3 electrons, and adjacent hydrogen 1 electron. So there is a triple bond. Okay. In case of Cl2, so 2, 4, 6. How many electrons? 7 electrons. So 2, 4, 6 dot 1 electron. 2, 4, 6 1 electron. So fluorine has a 7 electron. So now this electron gives here, this electron gives here, mutual sharing. What will happen? They make a shared pair electrons. So in this way they can form Cl bond Cl, C2H2 and CO2 molecules. So 8 electron, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so this is the examples of covalent bond. Similarly, nitrogen, it also uses here 3 electrons. Okay, this is the lone pair electrons. So triple bond, 1 bond means 2 electron, 2, 4, 6, 8. So in this way, the covalent bond is formed between N2 molecules, between Cl2 molecules, between C2H2 orbital molecule, and also O2 molecules. Next, covalence. Number of valence electron which an atom can share with electron of other atom to form covalent bond is called its covalency. Generally, covalency is equal to the number of unpaired electron in its valence shell. So generally, covalency is equal to number of unpaired electron in its valence shell, or it is total number of covalent bond and coordinate bond which can form with neighboring atom. So covalency of an atom in NH3 is 3, but in NH4 is 4. So covalency of an atom, it should be an atom. Okay, NH3 is 3, but NH4 plus is 4. Maximum covalency, what is? Maximum covalency of an element is the maximum number of covalent bond which can form with neighboring atoms. Now, important question. Phosphorus can form pH3, but pentahalides, both pH3 and pentahalides, but nitrogen can form only NH3. Why? Phosphorus, you see, third period element 3s, 3p, 3d0, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. This is the valence shell. How many electrons? 3. Okay, 3s2, 3p3, 3s2, 3p3. Due to the presence of 3d vacant 3d orbital, how this one electron from 3s orbital can promoted, excited 3d orbitals, then how will you get? We get number of unpaired electron 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So number of unpaired electron equals to number of covalent bonds. So now here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here pH3 sp3 hybridization, pH3 some is possible because here X donates electrons, X donates electrons. So this acts as a lone pair. So in case of excited state, what will happen? This ground state electron converted into 3d electrons. What will happen then? Here we will get unpaired electron 5. Here unpaired electron is 3. No need to here promoted electron, because during the formation of pH3 only we got 3 unpaired electron which is present already in ground state. So 3 unpaired electron present in the ground state. So X donates electrons. In this way pH3 is possible. When this ground 3s orbital electron gets promoted to 3d orbital due to the application of heat, what will happen? We get here 5 unpaired electrons. So number of unpaired electrons equals to number of covalent bonds. So that's why sp3d trigonal bipyramid structure PCl5 or PX5 is possible. But in case of nitrogen, it is being a second period element, it has no d orbitals. So number of unpaired electrons is 3. It acts as a lone pair. So NX3 is possible, but NX5 is not possible. So phosphorus, being an element of third period, contains vacant 3d orbitals in its valence shell. When phosphorus atom uses only 3 unpaired electrons present in 3p orbitals, trihalide of this element Px is formed, that is sp3 hybridations, while P uses 3 unpaired electrons in X to form Px3. When one of 2 electron in 3s orbital is transferred to the 3d orbital, P atom gets 5 unpaired electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And number of possible covalent bond is 5, sp3d. So both px3, px5 are possible. Whereas nitrogen, valence shell 2s2, 2p3, indicates that it has only 3 unpaired electrons. So nitrogen atom, here nitrogen atom, sorry, actually this will be capital N and it will be also capital N. Okay. So nitrogen atom can form NX3 not X5 as it does not have 3d orbital. So no question to promote 2s electrons. So there is no question of increase its covalency. Okay. Now coordinate bond. Coordinate bond is formed between 2 atoms, maybe dissimilar atoms, by sharing of 2 electrons, 1 electron pair between them, both the electrons being donated entirely by only 1 atom to acquire nearest noble gas configuration. So what is coordinate bond? Coordinate bond is formed between 2 atoms. 2 atom means dissimilar, AB, by sharing of 2 electrons. By sharing of 2 electrons, 1 electron pair. 2 electron means 1 electron pair between them, both the electron being donated entirely by only one atom, but electron pair should be donated by only one atom to acquire nearest noble gas configuration. Okay, so that is the coordinate bond. So next video class we will discuss the conditions and properties characteristics of coordinate bond. I hope you are enjoying this video. Thanks for watching this video.